So this should give you a simple introduction of how to set up VSCode for generative AI workflows. So once you install VSCode, you have to synchronize it with your GitHub repository to enable Copilot. Once you did that, just open any folder where you would like to place your software. So what comes next is actually adding a prompt. So you tell ChatGPT what you would like to create, and it does so. So it creates the software in this particular directory. And hopefully what it creates actually works at the end. So you see in the upper left corner, it creates all the files that are needed. So it creates a package file, a server.js file. And now it also installs the necessary modules. And once all this is done, it tries to run the application. To start the application, you type or make the software type npm start, and then it gives you a URL, localhost 3000, to preview the application. Now in this case, it actually produces an error. It doesn't load the universities. So what do? We just go back and tell ChatGPT, hey, there's a problem. Fix it. Now, another way of starting the application is not asking ChatGPT to do so, but for you to type it into a terminal. And let's see if it works. So now it comes up. So what we have right now is only a small test data set. So what about adding a larger data set, which I just did? So I added it into a directory. It's a CSV file, and let's just tell our Copilot that this data exists and that it should add it to the web mapping application. So it uncovers on its own the directory, it analyzes the data set, and then produces a revised application that actually shows 6,500 universities. Now that's a bit crowded, so let's use Markov clusters. Let's see what it produces. Clustered markers, and this sort of cleans up a bit the web application, just as we did before in previous examples. Now, there seems to be a problem with the location. So it seems all of them use the centroid of a state. So all universities in, let's say, Virginia are located at the centroid of Virginia. So we see this, we tell the Copilot that this might be a problem. Copilot checks whether it's really a problem, acknowledges it, and fixes it. So let's reload the map again. And yeah, it seems that did the trick. So now we have the individual locations of the universities rather than all of them being located at the centroid. Let's change the behavior. So instead of clicking on the marker, we would like to have a hover behavior to give us more information of a university. Again, reloading the page. It's now hovering, so we don't have to click on the marker again to get information. Another improvement could be to add the state boundaries to the map, which might give more context about where the universities are located rather than just the country. Again, I don't have to do anything. I don't even have to mention a data set. It finds it on its own and adds state boundaries. Further improvements could be it's increased the mapped area in relation to the university list. So this is something that didn't look too great. Again, just tell it to the tool and this is what happens. So let's see if we can find George Mason University. Actually, here it is. A third improvement is that we can filter universities. So the text field contains all this information. Can we use this area, this list of universities to actually add a filter? So George Mason, that works, but it would be so much better if you could actually click on it and then zoom to that location on the map as well. So basically link the list to the map behavior. So with these generative tools, it's always important to check our use. Here we have 46% of our allocated tokens has been used so far. So if you run out of it, it will just stop working. But luckily with your student plan on Copilot, you should have a reasonably large quota. So let's see what happens with these last modifications. Now, selecting university, George Mason University, and I click on it, then the map actually zooms to it. So this is actually very nice behavior. So I hope this was a useful tutorial. Of course, there's no substitute for trying it out yourself. And using those powerful tools, you can very quickly get to quite robust applications. And yeah, you should have a go.